Live. The Hangout is now on the air and we are live. Hi, everyone. Back with a little bit of awesome. And Kathy Jones and Barbara Williams are going to be awesome today. No matter what we say or what we do, we know we're awesome. So hopefully you find us to be awesome also. But today we're going to talk about attraction marketing, but actually we're going to be talking about mindset and the importance of mindset in regard to attraction marketing. Because the days of saying, I'm an expert, I'm the best, I know everything, I'm a guru, follow me, follow me, follow me, those days are, people don't want to hear that. They just don't want to hear that. So here's a couple little tidbits. If you're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and all the gazillion other ones out there, what you do not want to do is be posting your company name. People don't want to come to a social media site and read about your company. They really don't. That's not the place to do it. Likewise, you don't want to go to somebody's house for dinner and talk about your company nonstop. That's not the place to do it. So social media really is a meet and greet place. It's a place where people can get to know you. And there's more to you than the company you're with. So what you want to do is be saying hi, making friends, talking about your kids, talking about your dogs, talking about anything and everything that really has nothing to do with your company. If you want to graze slightly into that area of your company, then you want to do edutainment. So you want to share something with them that has to do with educational value, to uplift, encourage, enlighten, and educate people. If they find your posts of value, they're going to come back over and over again. When they find your posts of value and they begin to be attracted to you and to start desiring to be in your circle of influence, then they're going to check out on their own what website you're with, what company you're with, who are you, and what are you doing. And that's a natural process, and that takes time. Think about any relationship you have right now, any friend you have. You didn't make that friend in 24 hours. It took a period of time to do that. And like an old saying says, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. And a part of being on these social media groups is kind of deciding to choose your friends. So I hear some noise out there in the background. Could that be my friend Kathy Jones?
Yeah, it would be Kathy Jones live from the mountains of Panama, Barbara.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, I've just, enjoyed what you've been saying, and it makes so much sense, and we're just want to show ourselves as real people out here. We're just like everybody else, and I love to tell stories, whether it's stories about my dog or stories about my gardening or stories about my travels, and then people relate to that because who doesn't like to travel, or who doesn't, even if you don't have a dog, who doesn't enjoy hearing a story about pets? So it's like you're saying, it's portraying ourselves as just the average Jill out there, the average Joe, and meeting more people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sharing something of value. See, when you share something of value, people want to come back for more. Because there are a large population. I'm not good with percentages, and I'm definitely not agreeing. For you, of those of you that know the colors, which is blue, red, green, and yellow, I'm definitely not a green. I am a blue. I am a chimpanzee. I am party, party, party. Have fun, fun, fun. And for those that like someone of that personality type and who is also sharing information of value, people are going to come back and seek you out and say, what does she have of value today? Now, Kathy tends to be a green. And there's going to be people that absolutely can't stand me as a blue. But as a green, they're going to want to come back and hear what Kathy has to say. So, Kathy, over to you, my dear.
Well, that is so true. And that is one reason I think we work well together. It's not that we're opposites, but we're complements because Barbara's got more of that fun, chimpanzee out there. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who are the blues with that fun. And then there's a lot of you out there that are more like me, that are the greens and need to be pulled a little bit more towards that blue. And the greens, like myself, tend to be more analytical, more wanting to know how everything works. But I'll tell you what, I have learned through Barbara and other people that doesn't matter. It's about having fun and sharing that value, and that's why we call it edutainment. And because we're sharing value while having fun. I have a funny little story. I met a gentleman here in Panama who heads our local Rotary Club. And he's just this fun guy. And every day I get from him a happiness flash. And so he tells me something like, what can make you happy today? Like today's was, what makes you smile? Think about it. Notice that you're smiling right now and contemplate it. And take a time to do that several times a day. So I invite you all to have a happiness flash today. And so back to you, Barbara.
Yeah, when you're talking about that smile, it's amazing. There's a company out here called Western Dental. And we all like to go where people like us and where we feel comfortable and edified. So I call Western Dental, and this is how they answer the phone, Kathy. Good morning, this is Western Dental. How can I make you smile today? And it really kind of takes you back, and you go, wow, that just made me feel really good.
Well, and that's what we're out to do with our edutainment and attraction marketing, is show you how to have fun. And I know we mentioned this on our last hangout, that people today are really looking to turn their passion and what their hobby and what they enjoy doing into their way to earn money, into their job or into their entrepreneurial adventures. Wouldn't you say, Barbara?
Well, absolutely. And before I go any further, I'm not a real systematic person like Kathy, and I forgot to really say hello to you guys. So it better late than never. So I'm going to say congratulations to all of you listening today for investing in your presence. So congratulations to you. Kudos. If you didn't want to get further along in your life, you wouldn't be here, And we talked about the green and the blue. And in all fairness, we should talk about the red and the yellow. Now, we all, or most of us, have a little bit of each one of those colors in us. Now, the red is a very dominant color, as the color represents, and those are your leaders. Those are your very direct people, to the point. Ask them what they want, and they're going to tell you money, 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 money. The yellows are going to say, oh, sweetie, how can I help you today? How can I support you? How can I put a smile on your face? How can I make life better for you? How can I make you make a lot of money? Now, to be a awesome marketer, you want to cultivate all four in yourself. Because as you get to know all four personality types, all four colors, you're going to better understand the people you talk to. And in doing that, and meeting, kind of meeting them where they're at, they're going to be more apt to listen to what you have to say. Now, I want to share a little other tidbit today that kind of hopefully talks to the Gen Z people, because Kathy and I really want to talk to you Gen Z people, because both Kathy and I are only 19 years old in spirit.
Exactly, Barbara.
So what we all want to do is stop chasing people. People don't want to be chased. We're not a bloodhound. We don't need to be tracking people down, you know? But instead, we want to attract people, like bees to honey. We want to be the honey and attract you bees to us. We want to stop that convincing, persuading, and arm twisting that often happens or used to happen to try to get people to join us. But we want to start again, honey, bees, attracting people to us. And we want people to come, want to be with us, want to join our company, want to use our products. We also want to stop talking at people. There's a difference of talking at people and talking with people. We want to stop feeding people facts, man. I don't know about you, Kathy, but facts get really boring to me and very tedious, you know? People want to hear stories, fun, uplifting, light, and making your point through a story and sharing our stories with all of you out there. So, Kathy, tell me how you feel about those points I covered.
Well, I totally agree with what you're saying, Barbara. Like I mentioned earlier, it's about the stories. People want to hear experiences because people relate to that. People don't relate to facts and figures. They're like, oh my gosh, did that in high school. I had to memorize all that stuff. They don't want to do that anymore. But they want to relate to real people, real stories, what's going on with you, and then they want to share what's going on with them, and then we build that relationship and we offer that value. And I agree with trying to push something down someone's throat. And this may sound a little gross, but boy, I remember when I was first trained in this industry of direct sales and network marketing, I used to throw up on people, dear. I used to just go, blah, 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 I got this right, I've got this, I know all this. Well, that people would run away as fast as they could. And so I totally agree with it. It is about stories and giving people value.
I just thought about what you said. uh, and yeah, we call it fire hosing them, you know. Also, here I'm kind of doing the facts today, and Kathy's doing the fun today. What a reversal. You got the blue, red, and green. And it used to always be very challenging for me to deal with the greens. And so I would say, you know, greens are only 25% of the marketplace, and the blue, reds, and yellows are 75% of the marketplace. So let's present to 75% of the marketplace. And but later I came to find out, no offense to anybody out there for sure, but that greens are actually only 10% of the marketplace. And the 90% is the reds, blues, and yellows. So it's just a little trivia today, just a little tidbit. I want to point out we started off with talking about mindset, power positive thinking, visualization, dream boards, believing, you know, what you believe you will achieve. I know everybody's heard that before. You know, I often ask people to drive that point home and I'll ask Kathy, what came first, the Golden Gate Bridge or the man's thought?
Well, the second one.
Yeah. In other words, you couldn't have the Golden Gate Bridge if it wasn't some man's idea that he visualized and dreamed about, and then he put on a piece of paper, and then he brought to fruition. Well, that's true with everything. You know, you go down and you buy a Bentley. Well, if you hadn't thought about buying the Bentley, if the idea didn't come into your head about buying the Bentley, you would never be at the Bentley dealership. So everything the precursor to everything is an idea, is a thought. Now, it doesn't mean that you think about it and 2 minutes later you're there. No. Sometimes you have to think about it for a very long period of time. And back to me kind of breeding dogs, I wanted a black miniature schnauzer. So wanted one. And I really wanted one for about 7 years. But I did very little about making that happen. But I never lost sight of that was what I wanted. So then finally I started moving forward with looking for a reputable breeder of good black miniature schnauzers. And I finally found a breeder of black miniature schnauzers, but lo and behold, they were so rare and so much in demand, I had to put a rather large deposit on the puppy. And then even with that, I still had to wait 2 years before I actually was able to bring that puppy home. So I suggest that you get out with pen and paper, because I know that paper helps things come about faster, and write out your why. Write out, and I know you've heard this before, this is not new stuff to you guys. I know it's not, and I hate to bore you with it, but you know what? It really works. Write down your why. Write down a list of what it is you want, and do a dream board. Do at least 1 or 2 pictures of what you want your life to look like, and then you know what? You're going to see the changes. You're going to see things. I wrote down on a piece of paper back in, oh my goodness, I'm not going to tell you because it would really date me, and I'm only 19 years old after all. So, but I did write down these things like, I didn't even know what it meant to me at the time, but I wrote down piano, homeowner. I wrote down Spain, Spanish or French. I had no idea what that meant to me. Quite frankly, I can't even remember now. I wrote down, at that time, I really wanted a Honda. I love Hondas, Japanese made. And I'd take a Honda over a Bentley any day of the week. I just love Hondas. But anyway, I wrote these things down, and I pretty much stopped thinking about it. I put it away. Don't even know where the 355 card is. But all of a sudden, I moved a Baldwin Acrosonic into my home, and then after I moved it into my home, I go, oh my God, that was on that piece of paper. Next thing I know, I was a Spanish literature graduate, and I go, oh my God, that was on that piece of paper. And then I took a minor in French, and the same thing. Oh my goodness, it was on that piece of paper. And the Honda and the home. And then actually what was funny, I went from 5 homes to 7 homes. So writing things down on a piece of paper really will bring what you want about. But you better know what you truly want, because you will end up getting it, that's for sure. Back to you, Kathy.
Oh, I love those stories, Barbara. I've got one like that about a car. We lived in the mountains of Colorado. We're mountain people. And in the mountains of Colorado, everybody had a Subaru. That was the car of Colorado. You'd pull up to a stop sign, there'd be 4 Subarus. Well, Harvey wanted an Audi. Because I heard of Subarus. Everybody's got a Subaru. I want an Audi. So I said, well, have you ever driven one? He said, no, I just, think they're great cars. So I said, we drove over to Glenwood Springs, Colorado, the closest Audi dealer, and drove an Audi. I'll kind of put it on the back burner, and a year later, Harvey was driving, I think it was a Q7, one of the biggest Audis. So not only did he, envision it, but he actually went out and drove it. And so I think that is another thing that works. If you can put yourself in what you're trying to dream of,
Absolutely.
That helps.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Oh my goodness, I was going to wind this thing up, but you just triggered another story. My husband always wanted a Mercedes-Benz. Now, I wasn't a big Mercedes-Benz person, but he always wanted a Mercedes-Benz. So one day we drove my daughter, Rachel, to her acting and voice classes at ACT in San Francisco. And, we were driving from Livermore, California, up there to San Francisco, which is a little bit of a drive. and it didn't make sense to go back home and then come back and pick her up. So I said to myself, just whimsically, just a side thought, is, what are we going to do with ourselves when we're up here? And I said, you know what? I said, you're always saying you want a Mercedes Benz, but we don't even know what one costs. So we decided together that we would drive to the Mercedes Benz dealership to look at the cars while we waited for Rachel to finish up her class. Well, we went up there and we looked around. It was quite entertaining. And then we went back to pick Rachel up in our Mercedes Benz. And how did you guys get that? We went to pick up Rachel in our Mercedes Benz. And then we drove home. Well, the next day I had been watching a video by Bob Proctor. And if you don't know who Bob Proctor is, I highly recommend you go to Google him and find him and get his information. But what was it? Winner's Image. And I was going through the Winner's Image, listening to the then cassettes, now CDs, and I was watching then the video, which is now DVDs. And so I went to watch it because I was to watch it every day for 30 days, so I'm watching it. And all of a sudden I start screaming and running through the house going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And there, on that video that I had never seen before, even though I had watched it 30 times, was the exact make, model, and color of the Mercedes-Benz I drove home. Back to you, Kathy.
Ooh, doo-doo. That's one of those what I call a doo-doo. Well, Barbara, I know we've gone longer today, but it's been a lot of fun. So I've loved sharing stories, hearing your stories. I think people out there that listen to this will really relate to these stories, and hopefully will have gotten some edutainment from our stories today. So, Barbara, this is Kathy Jones from the mountains of Buquete, Panama. I'm going to turn it over to you to close it out today.
Great. Thank you. And again, you Gen Z people and anyone else that chose to tune in today, congratulations on investing in yourself. We will be back again, Barbara Williams and Kathy Jones, and doing our best to bring you something of value. So with that, over and out.